I hate this.
Okay, one of the great shooting guards out of Gonzaga University, Greek League All-Star, former French League All-Star, former Latvian League All-Star, 2015 French.
Just an all-star.
He's
Just
an
an
all-star.
all-star, Jack.
He's an all-star
Just
guest.
an all-star.
All-star hair, first team, all hair, Stephen Gray.
Appreciate it. Appreciate being here, guys.
What's shaking, dude? What's going on?
Yeah.
Just another day. Just, living my life out here. Just got back to the States a week ago. So now just trying to get back into the routine.
Season 10?
10. Just finished 10.
Holy.
How many languages can you speak?
Well, one, maybe English.
How many languages can you understand?
I mean, like basketball wise, you could understand bits and pieces of it. So like Greek obviously is pretty strongly ingrained. A little bit of French, a little bit of the Balkan language.
Balkan.
Yeah, like the Serbian, Bosnian, Croatian.
Oh, gotcha.
Not Vulcan, like Star Trek, Rob.
No,
I was like, live long and prosper.
All right, let's stop beating around the bush. I do want to get into Stephen Gray's experience in the Balkans because it looks like, especially like the last 6 years, you haven't left the Balkans for the most part. But
yeah, I was in the Mediterranean, in Greece for like the last 5 years ish.
Mm-hmm.
Best food.
It's amazing.
In my mind, do you not factor in Greece into the Balkans? Is that like a big faux pas? Am I making a big mistake?
I mean, I don't know. For me personally, I consider them two separate. Like, I think the Mediterranean is very different than like the Balkan, like as far as like culture, region.
Are you
my enjoyment level in the two places? Like, they're two very different things in my mind.
Whoa. I do want to get back to that. But first, if you went to Gonzaga University or if you were affiliated with Gonzaga University between 2007 and 2011, you knew that Rob and Steve were pretty much inseparable. You guys were a package deal.
We were, but we weren't.
Let's
not get it twisted here. We were, but we weren't. Like,
no, we each had our separate. There was two. It's like a Venn diagram. There's two very separate, distinct circles, and they just happen to overlap in
right
common activities. Like,
yeah, I don't think it'd be like when we lived together, we'd go a week without seeing each other, like living in the same place.
Yeah.
And then other than practice, I should say, we'd go a week without seeing each other. And then it'd be like, nothing's changed, like on either side. And I think it's still the same.
Yeah, they're definitely still the same. And then it's like after practice, a lot of times anyways, like you just want to get out. And so it's like, you're not trying to see really anybody. So, I mean, it'd be like a week just.
Where you'd go to your room, I'd go to mine, and it wasn't like we didn't, and then we'd like you said, we'd meet up or whatever, and we'd always be together, but at the same time, we weren't like, I need to know what Steve's doing all the time, or I need to vice versa.
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, I'll see you when I see you, and we'll make it work, and whenever it happens.
It was kind of that way, yeah.
When was your first meeting? When did the bromance begin?
I was 15. We were 15.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, Steve had committed.
Yeah.
He had committed.
And then they wanted me to come back for your visit.
An official visit.
Yeah.
And then that's where we met. Like our junior year. It was like October of my junior year.
Was that when it was?
October.
If you were 15, aren't you like a sophomore when you're 15?
It was at least, was that senior year? It might have been senior year. It's that October of senior year.
No, dude, you committed like hella crazy early.
Junior year. Oh, was this not with Andy? That was a different one.
Andy Poling?
Yeah, we had a visit with Andy. It was me, you, Andy.
No, this
Andy
was a
Bowling's
different.
younger.
That,
Andy's younger
and
than you.
Austin. That was
and
Austin.
Austin. Oh,
No,
yeah.
that was a different year. The
Okay.
first time I came down with Kristen.
Right. See, I'm getting them all mixed up, I think.
All right. Let's back it up here, Steve. So you
Right.
commit to Gonzaga as a sophomore?
Yeah.
Summer after my sophomore year, yeah.
Isn't that kind of bad business? Don't you want to feel wooed by the programs?
I mean, for me coming from Chimacum and like for Gonzaga to show interest, I was like, that's all the wooing I guess I really needed.
Okay.
And like I had actually just gone to a camp maybe like a week before at University of San Diego. And I think Ben Hahn was the coach there. And they had just told me like, yeah, like you can score, but we're just not sure you can really guard at the Division I level.
Yeah,
So
you've been our defensive player. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which I mean, I don't know how.
That's why he's not at University of San Diego anymore.
Yeah. So I was just like, dang. So after they said that and Gonzaga offered like a week later, I was like, there's nothing else for me to really think about.
So you commit as a sophomore as you get bigger, and I guess your game develops with your body junior and senior year. Did you get attention from like UW and regret your early commitment to GU?
No, I didn't regret it. I mean, I definitely got a lot more attention. I think part of it was I was able just to relax over the next summer and didn't have to worry about trying to impress coaches or anything, so I could just go play. But I mean, I definitely had interest to like some Pac-10, 12 schools. I don't know what it was then, but
Pac-10
schools. But I was good where I was at.
What Pac-10 schools?
Arizona, UCLA.
So,
I think UW was, huh?
So not Oregon State, like Rob.
No, I didn't have Oregon State. That wasn't
the Beavs.
I wasn't fortunate enough to get that one.
Oh man.
So it's you two. Your class was a big deal. I was 1 year ahead of you guys, and it was you two and Austin Day. And Austin Day was projected as a lottery pick that after freshman year, I think, early, right?
I don't remember if it was after his freshman year. I can't remember, to be honest with you, but I know he was projected to be a first rounder after his first year. I know that for a fact. And he decided to stay, and you forgot Ira.
Oh, Ira.
Yeah.
Ira came. Yeah. Ira was like 24 when he came over.
Yeah. Grown man.
Yeah.
Steve, you were part of one of my favorite memories as a Zag fan.
Yeah.
Do you know the game I'm talking about?
No.
You said so confidently. 2008, your freshman year, so spring 2008, at Santa Clara.
Oh yeah, that was a really good game.
Brody Angley.
Yeah.
Can you describe the last, what was it, like 30 seconds for the people?
I mean, I think he had Brody Angley had a huge game in that second half, and they were gonna beat us on their senior or for their last game as seniors, and it was this whole big thing. And I remember what happened.
The Rough Riders. I think
was it overtime?
No.
It was to go into overtime. Pargo turned it over or got blocked. Something where they had to take the ball out underneath our basket with 3 seconds left.
Yes, they had they were up 2.
Up 2 with the ball,
with
taking the ball out underneath our basket. So we're denying. They throw it long. It gets tipped. Me and one of the other players, we jump. It gets tipped. I start chasing it down towards the sideline. All I have time to do is just basically catch, turn, and throw. And Brody Angley just came diving for the ball. I think to try and celebrate early, you get the ball, you can slam it down, throw it up, whatever. And as soon as I feel him touch me, I just roll over, try and take a dive. Ended up getting 2 free throws with 0.3 seconds left.
Dude, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, were you the only one on the court to shoot the free throws? Was it one of those deals? You know what I mean?
No. Because it could have got tipped in because there's 0.3 on the
clock.
Oh,
okay.
But I realistically had to make them both.
So down to at Santa Clara,
Mm-hmm.
the Rough Riders
Just
in
going.
full effect.
Yeah, ready to celebrate. There's no way this freshman hits 2 free throws. Especially like, I remember I've been working on my free throws all
season. Few.
Yeah, with Bubba, because I
Oh,
shot
you
like,
broke your arm.
and I shot like 60-something% my senior in high school from the free throw line, and they're like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, for a shooting guard, that's not great.
Yeah, not great at all. So
I remember the first one. The first free throw was a lot of rim on that.
Rolled around. Yeah, a lot of rim.
Yeah. Next one was net, and then Austin took over in overtime.
Yeah, brought it home.
How often are you reminded of the 2008 Steph Curry battle?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Hella Zag fans bring that up too, I'm sure.
Well, and Steve,
it pops up in the locker room all the time. Oh, Steve, man, it's around March Madness. I was watching the Steph Curry highlights. That was you in that was you in that? Like, I get that all the time. Around tournament time, they start showing all the Steph Curry did, yeah. And it's just like, I think I saw you, Steve. What was that?
I think people you had 30 in that game.
I had 21, but 30 sounds good.
30 does sound good. Steph had 30 in the second half.
Yeah, he went crazy.
He just had a bunch of people that just set mad screens for him. And and then these like 2 African guys that just rebounded the ball all the time. Didn't even look to like score. I remember like the last play where it was like the dagger. The guy had the ball, he caught the rebound, was literally under the hoop, and then like kicked it out to Steph for the 3. It was like, dude, what is going on here?
It was a nightmare.
It's crazy to think that game in 2008 was the last time Gonzaga lost in the first round of the tournament.
That is
really
crazy.
Isn't that nuts? It's insane.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah,
wow.
That's nice. That's a nice little bit of history.
Setting records, man. Setting records. What for you? What was like the best thing playing at Gonzaga? What was your favorite part about playing there?
I mean, playing all of our home games, there was a couple of different things. Like, as far as the game goes, home games and just like the energy is something that like.
No, it ain't the same anymore, bud.
No, I'm sure it's not. But when we were there, like,
the student section ain't the same. Jack, you want to explain?
Well, yes, I will happily. So, Steve.
Yeah.
He's been overseas for quite a bit of time. He hasn't seen what the student section looks like now.
It's not great.
It's not great.
They kind of take
it's terrible.
They take the like lower level WCC games for granted, for sure. Like, it could be Southwestern Missouri State University in November, and that place would be sold out during your era, right?
Yeah, right.
Not the case for the Kennel Club anymore, unfortunately. And I don't want to like nerd bash, but
I will.
I think it's because it's a lot harder to get into Gonzaga now because of the success of the basketball team. I mean, other things for sure, but Gonzaga being awesome over the last 5-6 years, like elite awesome. A lot more kids want to be associated with that, and it's harder and harder to get into school. And I just think there's a lot of nerds now that go to GU. There's definitely, they definitely love Gonzaga basketball.
Let's just say this, Steve. If we're going to a Texas Southern game, okay, when we played, 1,200 students would be at that game, right?
Yeah.
We're lucky if we get 400.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Jack.
I don't know. Maybe for like over Christmas break, for sure.
Jack.
I mean, you were there more than I was, for sure. I've only been doing a couple.
I'm just saying 400 to 500, and then we're filling it up with regular fans that just want to come in and giving them red shirts.
That's wild. I mean, I guess that's what sustained success does, you know.
It's complacency. It's a complacency thing. We get, you know, we lose our fire to show up for our team, but I don't know. It's a lot different. It threw me off when I first saw it. I was like, why is the student section?
That was always one of the like main selling points.
Yeah, and you know, and that is a selling point. I don't think the students understand how much of a impact they make on the game. And that's why we talk about it all the time on the show, because it's like, no, you guys need to be involved just as much as we put the time in. You guys need to put the time in.
Just a little bit. And I mean, maybe with it being, you know, without being able to have, you know, the games here this last season, they'll come back and it'll be like a new sense of appreciation.
So. That's a good call.
Maybe.
No, that's a definitely good. Jack, are you in black and white?
Dude, it's tripping me out. How about this? I'm in Tahoe.
I'm like, why are you putting yourself in black and white?
How weird is that? It's never like this. And it's in the back of my mind now because Speak uses all our video and puts it on YouTube. So I'm always trying to like look pretty. But now, unfortunately, this is a bad look. I don't look
Steve.
as hot as Steve.
I ran into your professor that took you to Africa.
Oh yeah, Josh.
There was an era where you decided to go to Africa, and
an era
at Gonzaga where you decided to go. It was a little era, but you went and did Africa and the arts.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Refreshing, I guess, is the best first way to put it. Like I look back on it now, even still some days, or like when I get asked about it, it still feels like a important thing that I did and that I needed to do.
Absolutely.
I think that it's kind of impacted how I operate now on a certain level, as far as
perspective.
Perspective on the things that I've seen, understanding that, you know, since I went to Africa and all these changes that I've had in my life, for the majority of the people there, a lot probably hasn't changed. So just to be able to like still look back on that time with like no regret, because I think it would have been easy to then like, oh, if I would have spent more time on focus on basketball that summer or what have you, what would have been different. But I think for me, the important thing was scratching like whatever that itch or that curiosity I had about, you know, the bigger picture, like the more universal view on the world, I guess, was kind of what I wanted to take from it. So still one of the best things I've ever done.
For context, that was, you were going from your junior to senior year, right?
Yeah, so that summer from after my junior year, I spent like 5 weeks in Africa.
So Steve at that point was pretty much like the face of the program going into his senior year.
Yeah.
And he did what almost no elite Division I basketball players do, and that is take the summer off and go to Zambia.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah.
But I mean, how did Coach Few react? What was he? I mean, he couldn't say no. I mean, it's your decision.
Yeah, couldn't say no. Wasn't real thrilled, and I understand it.
Like, you needed to go through it.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's probably like, man, you had all this. I'm sure there's plenty of other time you could go through this and like figure it out. And then you only have one summer like that. Like,
yeah,
like I understand what it like how it looked. You know, for
outside in.
Yeah, like I get it. Maybe lack of focus. I mean, I've had questions about that even, you know, the last couple of years. Like, do you really like the basketball thing? Because I know you did this in college and you did this. Just like, and at that age, you're 22. Like, you just want to do
what you want to do.
Yeah. And for me, I saw a bunch of other students branching out, doing different things. And I thought that, you know, it's a shame that we're expected to just do this thing over and over and over repetitively when this is all we've been doing for, the 20 years to get to that point. So I don't know. I had hit a
So
point.
basically you were using the Gonzaga education to broaden your mental mindscape.
Yeah. I mean, I thought if I had an opportunity where my scholarship would cover an opportunity for me that I wouldn't have otherwise, then yeah, I should explore that.
God damn it, Steve. That was so insightful. What you just said there,
mean,
in terms of you're expected to do this thing over and over and over, day by day, and live up to the expectations that others have of you.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe the ones who continue to do that are the crazy ones, and maybe you're the one that just was smart at the end of the day. Do you think going to Zambia and taking that little break from basketball made you a better player for your senior year?
I don't know. I mean, I think that it helped to kind of navigate the year as a senior, being the only senior, and I think the pressure that could have come with it that I didn't necessarily feel, I think was because of Zambia, and to see a different perspective and to see what struggle and hardship really is. Because I mean, looking back and just how awful our run was my senior year at some points, to start off in a hole to win even the WCC, and I remember we had dropped that game to Illinois and Seattle by 20, and we were getting beat bad. And just to be able to stay the course and eventually get a split for the co-WCC champs, and then get to the NCAA tournament, which was a little shaky, I think, that year, had we not won the conference tournament. To be able to handle all of that, I think, and navigate that without being too hard on myself or crazy on myself about, how the year played out. I think that helped. I don't know if, skill-wise, basketball-wise, it was super beneficial.
You live and you learn, man.
Yeah.
You live and you learn, and you needed it. I don't know. You probably needed it at that point in time. You put so much hours into the gym already that, it was something mentally. You needed it mentally more than.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what definitely what it came down to.
But yeah, he came back and was walking around campus barefoot.
Long hair. Why did you? Oh, you went from number 32 to 41.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember why. I wanted to just switch it up.
You just wanted it just to change, man.
I wanted to change. I was.
You going through a midlife crisis at 20.
Right, I was getting out of the way early.
Just
yeah. I don't
Steve,
know why the number changed, but
I've made the assertion on this show many times that I think Joel Ayayi is the best Gonzaga off-ball offensive guard. And more than several people have come back and said that you were.
Really?
Do you think you're the best cutter slasher without the ball in Gonzaga history?
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Putting you on the spot there. But
there's been a few.
That's
Go
ahead.
Go ahead.
That was definitely a special part of your game.
Yeah, and I just studied a lot of film of different guys who, at that time were better at it than I was. To come back one of the summers and to hear that the Pendo cut got renamed, a cut that was always, this is what Pendo used to always do. So I started doing it because he was getting easy baskets that way. So then they renamed it after me for at least a stretch. So it's just I don't know, you don't really have your a clear perspective on your own career and the things that you were necessarily, able to do. But I mean, if they name it Cuts after me, I was pretty good at it, I guess.
You were doing something right. How much Gonzaga basketball have you been able to watch the last few years?
I mean, I watch as much as I can. Like, I was able to catch a few of the games this year live. Most of the time, I just have to do like replays. Just watching the day after, a couple days after.
Uh-huh.
The guys take the game a little bit more seriously than we do, I think. Or maybe I think I should say they take the off court events a little bit more seriously than we do.
I mean, they kind of have to, the way things have changed. There's a lot more attention, spotlight.
Right.
So it comes with it, I guess.
I don't want that.
I'm happy to see that they're doing a pretty solid job with it.
2011, Steve, you go undrafted. You do the overseas thing. You've had an illustrious overseas career. I read about it a little bit. All-star in 3 different leagues, at least 3 different leagues, right?
10
years later. But for 4 or 5 straight summers, you were getting involved in NBA Summer League, like a lot of players at your level do. Can you describe that grind, what it is to go to Vegas every summer and just kind of bounce and try to catch a contract,
You're just in there with a lot of just like hungry dogs, man. They just are like egos. Everyone needs to show what they can do with a couple of minutes that they're going to get to show it.
The G League in a small period of time.
Yeah, and it's just for so then you have guys coming from overseas who had seen guys in the G League hoop in, and now they think they get to come in and just do it's a lot.
It's selfish basketball.
Yeah, and if you're not like really like ready just to be about that and just like say F all these guys, like it's just time for me to go, like it's gonna be a struggle. And so for me, like whose game, predicates a lot on other people setting screens or being able to get me the ball. It wasn't always easy. So, after a few summers, I had said and decided that I was done. And then after I led France in scoring, like the assistant GM for Brooklyn wanted me to come in. But at that point I'd already said, like I was kind of over it. But after that was the last one.
Who was the biggest consistent asshole in Summer League? Or if you have one summer where you had a teammate who was like the worst in playing the kind of ball that you were describing.
Damn, Jack, you're gonna just put this guy on like
I am.
Just have him call him out.
Yep.
I mean,
you don't need to say names. Don't listen to Jack.
Just thinking about it, and I just like not the biggest, but just like someone who thrives in that
atmosphere.
Yeah, it's Pargo. I was on one of the highlights that he has from Summer League where he like crossed over someone, did a little spin, no look pass to a guy cutting down the lane for a dunk. So it's not like necessarily like he's not an asshole or anything. Like his personality is like, because the way he played in Summer League is the way he plays all summer long. He's just gonna talk. He's gonna show you, and you're not gonna show him up. And so it's just like. That's someone that, does well in that situation.
That 2015 season you mentioned when you led the French league in scoring, why did everything click that year? What was going right? Why didn't you win MVP?
Because the team that we were on was doing pretty bad. We had Irv Walker, who played at Florida. We had Chris Joseph out of Syracuse. We had like a solid team.
Damn, those are 2 good names.
I know. And then me and Irv, we were number 1 and 2 in the league in scoring. And so like the last like stretch, he started to not shoot as well. So I was able to catch him and pass him like on the last like 2 days or something. But our team lost. We didn't win a game from January until like March or something. We went on a crazy stretch.
That's
rough.
From
like 4th place out of the playoffs. It's the only year that I haven't been in the playoffs since I've been overseas. And so that's why we didn't win or wasn't in the MVP running, because our team was falling apart fast.
And where in France were you playing out of?
Dijon.
What was your French experience?
It was all right. When we lived up north, we lived like 30 minutes from the Belgium border, and then just like the train ride away from London. So like that was really nice because we would have practice in the morning, go to Belgium for lunch, come back, hang out. Like it was nice.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All these countries you've been to,
Yeah.
best food.
Greece. Like,
Are you
Greece.
a Euro
Greece
snob?
too.
Like a gyro?
Yeah. Like I can't get it'll be tough to get anything after having the ones in Greece.
How many kebabs were you putting down a week?
I mean, if I could eat it every day, to be honest with you. But you get a couple of them on an off day, late night snack. Like there's
Any
nothing like
Zambuca?
no.
Is that Greek?
I don't know.
I thought it was
Maybe.
Greek.
Worst food.
Latvia.
My first
has to be.
Has
to be Latvia.
Yeah, I was gonna
Has
say
to
my first year in Latvia was pretty rough.
I feel like that shit would be bland as hell.
It was just potatoes, cabbage, borscht.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
cabbage.
There's no seasoning out there. It's just,
No.
it just sounds.
Just mayonnaise for your fries. Like just
mayonnaise for your fries.
I'm down with that. I'm good. Way to go, Latvia.
Really?
I'm down with that. Yeah. Oh, I'm a big mayo guy on all things. Yeah. Huge mayo proponent. You were not an all-star in the Greek league, the French league, Latvian league, the best all-star experience. Like I'm sure being an all-star in those three leagues means different things.
Yeah, France was awesome. France, they tried to do it like the NBA. It was in they did like a big concert hall. My dad was actually able to come up. It's the only time he was able to come overseas because our daughter was just born a few months before that. So he just happened to.
My man Rob.
Yeah, so he was able to be there to see me in the All-Star game for that. But it was like real deal. Like did the skills challenge 3-point contest, the whole show, the works, a Nike suitcase full of different. This is when it's peak now, but it was the last year that it was Nike. So you get a couple pairs of Nike shoes, sweats. I mean, it was just like.
It was legit.
It was legit. Was
that the year DJ Stevens did that between the legs dunk over there? Remember, or he did some crazy. He did some crazy dunk in an.
I think it was the year after, maybe. I don't think he was there when I was there. But
of all the leagues you've played for or in, the best consistent fan bases.
Greece.
Yeah, they're throwing flares. They got flares, and
when they come to the games, they're so passionate. Like we had, I'm trying to think, my first, this was like 3 years ago. They had let some fans in from the other team to our game just to have a little bit more support atmosphere, what have you. We're up 20 in the third. And the fans on opposite sides, and they start rushing towards the middle around the bleachers. They're picking up chairs off of the that are connected into the cement, throwing them at each other, punching each other. We had to stop the game for like 20 minutes to break the fans up. One dude got his face split open, getting stitches in our training room. Like, yeah, it's
pure chaos.
Just 100% chaos. They throw batteries when you're trying to warm up.
What? Batteries? Like
pepper spray. Yeah, they throw like take the batteries and.
Here's my question: where do they take those batteries? Where do they get those batteries from?
They just bring them coins. Like it's not like they're getting checked.
Oh, there's no like security like at our games?
No.
So these people are
just
just coming in.
you go out at halftime, you come back in at halftime, and they're just like sitting up top smoking their cigarettes and just like this little haze in the
Arena.
crowd. Yeah. It's just,
And did you have any coaches smoke at halftime?
yeah, the coach that I just had in it was part of his routine. After he'd give his pregame talk, he'd just go into the bathroom, run the faucet, and smoke a cigarette.
What is
I've
pregame
had
talk?
teammates smoke cigarettes.
Yes, teammates smoke cigarettes at halftime.
At halftime, before the games, before
No,
practice.
that's awesome.
They sit there and they have a little like they have their chair. They just put little chairs in there. They run the faucet, have a little coffee, smoke a cigarette, go to practice. It's like y'all are wild. Like,
Anyone drinking at halftime?
no, I
Meta
haven't
World
had
Peace
any of
style?
those. No,
That's
no,
bummer.
yeah.
Have you ever been in an altercation during a game over there, or is there kind of like a brotherhood with the players? Like these Greek fans are crazy.
Yeah,
Let's not.
no.
Yeah.
Usually I'm not. I managed to avoid altercations. But my first game in France. I just started with a new team in France, like my third year overseas. And there's like a minute left in the game. I don't know it was Daniel Ewing and our point guard started getting into it, bringing the ball up the court. There's a little bit of a shoving match. Next thing you know, other players are starting to push. Jawad Williams played at North Carolina on the team that had like Marvin Williams, Raymond Felton, Sean May. He gets one of my American teammates in a headlock and is like choking him out. Our big man comes across the top, punches Jawad Williams in the face, gets broken up. They suspend our captain for like a couple games. They suspended the guy that was getting choked for a couple games. They suspended Jawad Williams for like 4 or 5 months, I think.
Why do the guy who's getting choked out? He's already being humiliated.
I
You
know.
don't need you. You don't need. You don't
Our
need
coach-
to. Why do you need to find him or
Our
get him
coach
out
was
of
trying
games?
to get it. Our coach was trying to get him to go press charges against him for like battery or assault. And he was like,
Oh
"Coach,
my!
I can't do that. I can't do that."
Yeah, that's a tough look. That's tough to come back from. Like,
yeah,
what are you going to get, a settlement? That's not worth whatever money
Yeah.
you're going to get for it from your reputation.
that was,
Yeah, your reputation. You can't get that back. You can't.
Yeah, no, not at all. So that was probably that was one of the crazier ones. It was like my second game, so I'm like, I don't know you guys well enough to really be fighting with y'all like this, but
Yeah, I'm not putting my foot.
I mean,
in
I
the pool.
guess, yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's nuts.
Some wild stuff.
Stephen Gray, do you know where you finished in the 2011 voting for WCC Player of the Year?
Nope.
Neither do I. But you had to be number 2 behind Mickey McConnell, I'm guessing, right? Because who would have been number 2?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think who else. Because we finished co. I mean,
It would have been. It was him and you, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think we've been spoiled the last 4 or 5 years with these Zag teams just dominating WCC play. You guys were part of some battles with St. Mary's teams.
Yeah. No, those are always a lot of fun.
Well, St. Mary's was way better.
They were definitely better. Diamond
Like,
season.
They weren't just like they had all their pipeline to Australia. They had like a bunch of Australian guys. They were just a better team. Sam Hand was actually a legit decent post player. He was Mickey McConnell, Deladova. Like shit, they had 2 NBA guys.
Brad Waldo.
Yeah. When was the last time any other WCC team had 2 NBA guys?
Oh, so I'm glad you brought that up, Rob. Well, Gonzaga, but I'm glad you brought that up because I've said this before on this podcast. I'll watch like a high school kid play and I'll be like, oh, he's really good. Is he going to go to like, I don't know, Northern Colorado? And they're like, no, he's going to Duke. I'm like, oh, like I can't tell the difference between a really good player and like a great player. Just like I don't know if it's the same for you guys, watching college basketball, watching Matthew Dellavedova, I'm like, there's no way he's going to sniff the league, let alone have like a 7-8 year career in the league. Did you have any indication going up against him that he was going to find success at the top level?
He was the second guy though during that, because it was Mickey's year.
It was Mickey. Yep.
So he was kind of like the guy who, like,
the guy behind the guy.
Yeah, like you when we were playing against him, you definitely had to worry about him, but he wasn't your first threat during that game. You had to like, okay, are we going to stop Mickey first, and then we'll go from there. That's what I can remember. And then that's when he would get off. But then I think he had a good senior year and whatnot.
I think he had a really good senior year. But I think a lot of it goes into like the details. Like when you can see a player consistently do a lot of the small things that necessarily you can't teach or coach, that's when you start to separate the hairs between like good and great players. Like I'm thinking back, I remember with the scout, they were talking about how I want to say Deli was the only one who, if we showed out on a ball screen, could make that pass to the corner, because we'd have to help with the second man at the basket.
Rotation.
And he's like, he's the only one, but you just have to make it tough. But he's the only one on this team, like maybe in like on the West Coast, that can make this pass, throwing it from half court, going towards that opposite corner, just because that's the pass we were willing to give up. So I mean, there were like little bits and pieces where you could start to see like, oh, he knows how to play, like he understands it, and he works hard enough that I guess I was surprised initially, but not totally shocked now to see that that's where he's at.
TJ McConnell was another guy that I hated at Arizona. He was a little bit younger than you guys, but I remember he was like the sixth man off the bench when Arizona was really good. And TJ McConnell's still playing in the league, and it just pisses me off. Back to battles with St. Mary's. Your senior year, do you remember that overtime Moraga victory, Steve, that you guys had to win in order pretty much to? I mean, I don't have a question. I'm just basking in the glory of that game.
Oh no, I do. I remember. I think Marquise and Meach ended up having big games that game, so I think I fouled out. And I think they had really big games.
Dude, I can't even remember that game.
It was my first year out of college, and I remember I had a couple cocktails, a couple of adult beverages.
I feel like I fouled out, and I feel like Meach and Marquise had huge games, and that's why they ended up winning, because they were hooping.
I think it was tied at the end of regulation, and they had a possession to score and win it, and you had to stop, and it was tremendous. And this is called Jack reminiscing about basketball from 10 years ago.
Holy shit, Jack. I was going to say, man.
We were at the game. We don't remember.
Jack, I have no idea what happened during that game. You could have told me we won or lost. I have no clue.
Fans remember way better than any of the players, and that's true on any level in all sports. Like for you guys, it's just another, and it's not to say it's just another game, but watching, it's imprinted on our memory so much more, I think.
And I mean,
you guys are thinking about so much other things.
Favorite games, like when I think back to my college careers, like that's not one of the games that I think, that pops in my head. But
what does jump out of in your head?
I mean, personally, like the San Diego State game. That's the UConn game, my sophomore year in Seattle.
Oh, we just talked about that one.
That was a good one.
What about that Portland game? Remember that one?
Portland State?
Where we played Portland, not Portland State. I think we were down a lot, and we came back. You remember that one?
Oh, the scene. Yeah, I remember that one. It was like we needed to win it too, because we were like 5-4 or something.
That year we had to win every game.
Yeah, we did. We started off like 5-4 in West Coast Conference. I was like, we're not going to make the tournament. We're not like
we're that team.
Panicked. I was so panicked. Oh, that's what I was saying. That had I not gone to Africa, I don't know if I could have like handle that situation. And I mean, I was probably like looking at that as part of it too. Like, if we don't make the tournament, if we don't West Coast Conf, like, and this is on me, and I went to Africa, I did these plays, they're gonna be saying this. They're gonna hate me. I'm never gonna live this down. Oh,
Now
it was all
they're
that.
going to finals, and they don't even talk about that year. So
Right? That's
like,
all, and that's at the end of the day, that's all I really wanted from that year. I was like, man,
Make the
I
tournament.
think yeah, like it's not gonna we're not gonna have one of those crazy runs, but as long as we're not the blip on the radar, we'll be okay.
Not only did you make the tournament, you guys smoked a pretty good St. John's team, didn't you?
We did. Yeah, we did. Prepared well for that game.
And then you ran into Jimmer.
Yeah.
and Jimmer didn't even have a good first like 10, 20 minutes of the game.
No, it was the other guy. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man.
Exactly what happened.
Stephen Gray, you're in Seattle now. When do you have to go back to the Balkans?
I don't know where I'm going yet.
But
usually it's middle of August.
So there's a 0% chance you're going to be at the Battle in Seattle this year. Did you know the Battle in Seattle's back?
I did not know that.
Alabama.
I'm missing all the fun stuff.
Yeah, you always are. You. I mean, if they go to New Orleans for the Final Four this year, there's no shot you're able to make it, huh?
No, I'm 3-4 years out before I start making appearances at these games.
That's fine. You do you, man. You can watch it.
Live it.
Middle of the night.
Ride that bad boy out.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I know the answer to this, Steven, but I have to ask you.
Yeah.
What's your stance on aliens?
Oh, here we go.
Okay. I mean,
now we're gonna get them talking.
More likely than not, they're real. Like, I'm sure that they are, and they're out there.
What do you think they look like?
I don't know. I don't know.
They listen to our show.
They definitely do. They're big fans.
I mean, they could be small little gray creatures, or they could be like just beams of light. Like, we don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know if they take a shape in like what we can comprehend. You know what I mean? I don't think we can wrap our minds around what they look like.
Yeah,
but
there has to be something. You think it'd have to be something recognizable, or somewhat recognizable.
They sure as hell exist. Hold on, I looked up. I have a UFO story for you, Rob. I'm looking for it now.
Here we go.
But I need to toss it in there. You know about the Pentagon has to present to
No,
Congress.
they've come out with some bullshit. Have you heard
have they delayed it?
No, their whole thing is there may be aliens, there may not be aliens. They're not sure.
Yeah, but they still have to do.
No, that was what they came out and said.
No, bro. They've got a real deal coming out soon.
No, Jack, that's what they came out and said was there may be aliens, there may not be. They're not sure. That was their whole deal. So then they just left us with where we're at anyways.
Brother, there's still facts to be uncovered. How about this? This came out earlier this week. You ready? Good thing you guys are sitting down. The former head of a government program involving UFOs claims U.S. nuclear facilities have been forced to go offline because of UFOs. Luis Elizondo is the former director of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which was created in 2007, your freshman year, to investigate unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAPs. Elizondo spoke Tuesday with the Washington Post and was asked about the UAP sightings above nuclear weapons facilities. He claimed there have been incidents where UFOs, have, quote, interfered and actually brought offline our nuclear capabilities. Top U.S. officials will release a report to Congress about UFOs later this month.
Where is this source?
USA Today, pal. Or no, Washington Post. Ever heard of it?
Oh boy.
Washington Post. So, well, I mean, hey.
We're here, man.
We're here, aliens. We're ready.
I got something for those little green bastards.
Steven, favorite alien movie, Steve?
Mars Attacks.
There you
Bingo.
Go. If aliens come down looking like that, we're doomed. We are doomed. Okay, then go back then. We've done aliens. Ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts?
I mean, I guess to an extent, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't believe in really.
You can say you don't believe in it.
You're
You're not
agnostic.
gonna hurt my feelings. You're not gonna hurt.
No, I mean, like, I guess I know for a while I was like kind of just waiting for an experience. Like, I figured so many people had like had ghost stories or ghost, weird things happen in their house or place of work or whatever, that I figured it was only a matter of time before, you have your own. But since then, like,
I'm out on ghosts. And this is coming from a guy who just watched The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, I got 13 minutes left on it. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything.
I'm out. I don't believe in any of it. Boom.
You're out.
Now we're getting into religion, and that's a different conversation.
Yeah. We stay away from religion and politics.
Yeah, we stay far away from politics all the time.
Well, for on this scope, where do we stand on Bigfoot?
If you go on Vancouver Island, there's many sightings on Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Multiple sightings.
Have you seen one, Steve? I'm out on Bigfoot.
No.
All my chips are in on aliens. I've got no room for anything else.
I think there might have been one maybe in the 50s, but he died off. Harry and the Hendersons died off.
He couldn't find a lady.
Yeah. I mean, you think Patty, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think Bigfoot, there's just too many people, unfortunately. And I think you would eventually, and I'm with these North Idahoans, and the way they hunt and track, they would have had a Bigfoot by now.
What about you, Steve? You're in all kinds of corners of the
world.
You're
from the peninsula. You should. That's thick forest. That's where Harry lived.
No, I know it.
Do you have a Bigfoot story?
You guys no.
Have you?
No. Thankfully, I know a couple people out here who do though, and I've been meaning to get to ask because I really am curious to see what these people out here have to say about it.
I'm out.
No, I just know there's been a crazy amount of sightings on Vancouver Island in Canada. It's like a real thing.
Yeah, from what I hear, when people it is a real thing. As far as many people have said that they've seen a Bigfoot.
Yeah, there's been multiple, but we're also now, like I said, he must have died in the 50s or something, because we're in an era with cell phones, and you should be able to if there's all these sightings, you should be able to take a picture of this.
You would think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go one further. I'll call Bigfoot out. If you're real Bigfoot, I'll kick your ass. How's that sound?
I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah, you heard it, Bigfoot. I will kick your ass.
I don't think he has a podcast, but you never know. What if Bigfoot's an alien?
Whoa. Now I got to take a couple steps back. Okay. Yes. With the caveat, if Bigfoot was born not of this world, we'll be friends. Bigfoot, if you are an earthly being and you exist, I'll kick your ass. How's that sound?
See, I'm not in the right headspace to have this conversation right now. I'll let you know.
Yeah. I think Steve is.
I'm good.
Stephen Gray, pleasure was ours. Thank you so much for taking the time, buddy.
Yes, brother. Yes, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate the invite. Happy to be here, be a part of it.